Dylan, can you give me your best zombie face? Zombie, you ready for your run today?
Yeah. Of course. Why wouldn't I?
Oh, hi everybody, welcome to today's video. My name is Matt and this is What Matters to Matt, and today is a pretty important day for me because today is the day that I turn 40. So we're going to talk about how I plan on making 40 my fastest, strongest year yet. Let's get the day started.
Hi, may I take your order, please?
Hi, can I get a large coffee with 2 sweetener and an everything bagel with cream cheese?
Certainly. Anything else?
That's it.
Try one up, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so there's a couple different reasons why today is not the typical Sunday for me. Today I'm actually opening the gym. Now, if you don't know, I actually work at a gym a couple of days a week. Now, I am a school teacher during the day, but I said I'd come in this morning. Somebody needed the day off, desperately needed the day off, so I said I'd come in and open up, hold down the fort for a couple of hours before the next person got in here to sort of take over. I got a zombie run this afternoon with my daughter. The awesome part of my birthday being so close to Halloween, my birthday being on October 30th, is that oftentimes we get to do some fun stuff with the kids, and today is no different. We're going on a zombie run. My daughter and I are going to be running. My wife and son are going to be zombies for the day. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll take you on that, and then we'll sit down and talk a little bit about what my plans are for the next couple of months, because we're not quite into marathon build season yet, but we are into getting stronger and faster and always pushing forward. So let's get this gym open, let's get this out of the way, and let's get on a run. Be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive.
We're not cheerleaders.
And we are back. Now let's make sure, or try to get that in focus. I know it says 5K. I know that says 5K, but these were old medals from previous years. And I just want to say, before we actually get into the race, first off, welcome, and if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I've got a lot of really solid running content come up. Sometimes I do videos a little bit more like this where I talk a little bit more about my family, because ultimately I want to share with you all of my experiences, not just my running, and my family and my work life, and all that impacts all that so much. And quite frankly, all those extra hours that we put in running, logging those long days, yes, it's for the marathons and the half marathons, and fingers crossed next year I get into doing my first ultra. But ultimately it comes down to, for things like this event that we had today, where we actually just ran, it was a little bit over 1.5 kilometers. It was an obstacle course. It was the Running Dead, maybe it's called the Zombie Run, the Running Dead. And I ran that with my daughter. My wife and son both were zombies for the day, and we were raising money for a really good cause in the community. So this is ultimately one of the main reasons why I do what I do, why I try to stay fit. So hopefully you like this video. I will talk for a minute at the end about what the next few months are going to be like for me. So stay tuned for that, because I think that's going to be pretty exciting. But the run. So very briefly, let's talk about how the day actually went. And again, I started off the day by working at the gym. I had to open up for somebody who was actually on vacation. Now, I am not a personal trainer at the gym. It's actually just a part-time job. I teach during the day, and I am what we call a motivator when I'm working at the gym. On this day, unlock the doors, turn on the lights, crank up some tunes, get ready for people to come in and greet them as they come into the gym and politely say goodbye as they leave. That's it. And so I only had to do that for a couple hours before somebody came to relieve me. Got home, and then it was time to get ready for running this race. Now, I will say at this point that if you're thinking about wearing a costume to one of these events, even if it's just a short run, something like a Hulk costume with a lot of padding, not really ideal to be running a race. Not as bad as my daughter's onesie that she was in, because she got really, really hot, but still not ideal. We get there, had a little bit of a food, stayed clear of most of it because I was getting ready for that race and I knew I was going to be having a lot of cake later on in the day. When we actually get into the place where we're starting, they take the zombies outside and they set up the course and have everything ready, and I have not seen the course at all. So my wife and son leave because they are zombies for the day, and we get to hang around behind and wait for it's time for us to run outside and run through the course. So we have no idea what it looks like. By the way, when you're actually in one of these events, or at least the way they set this one up, is it's a little bit like flag football. You wear 3 flags that are Velcroed to this strap that you have around your back. And as you run by the zombies, they're supposed, for the most part, supposed to be just slow zombies. So they'll reach out and try to grab your flags. This is where things kind of got a little bit interesting for me, because when we started our race, the first thing that you had to do was run through the back of the bus. You know that there's going to be zombies on that bus, and lo and behold, that's where they put my wife, and my son was crouching down on either side in a couple of seats to reach out and grab some flags. And when my son saw me, he did not go easy on me. So as I ran past, he grabbed 2 of my 3 flags. By the time I finished that first lap, I was out of flags completely. Now, the other thing I'll say about this was, even though it was only 1.5 kilometers, I was pretty tired. You kind of go 0 to 60, didn't really take it seriously at all, didn't really warm up at all. Heart rate went up really, really quick. Obstacles were not that easy. They were easy, but there's no chance to get in any sort of a running flow. So just a really, really neat experience. Now, I followed my daughter through most of the race. We get to this one section of the race, and there's a local high school hockey team that they had come in and volunteer, and they were in the rage zone. Now, the rest of the zombies throughout the whole race were kind of the Walking Dead zombies, where they're walking really slow. But in the rage zone, it was more of Day of the Dead zombies. Those guys were sprinting, and they were going after you. And you had the option to go around, but of course, knowing my daughter and knowing me, no way we're going to do that. So we sprinted through there. I actually lost my 3rd flag at that point. So the second lap, I kept going. Technically, I was no longer alive. I was one of the zombies. But I wanted to finish the race anyways, and they just said, keep going if you lost all your flags. So I followed my daughter through most of the course, the second lap, and there were only 2 full laps of this race. So really, really solid event. Very happy that we went and did it. Had a whole lot of fun during the race. Now let's move on to talking about what the next number of weeks are going to look like. I want to say right off the bat that I am somebody who originally considered myself to be a little bit of a hybrid athlete. When I started getting into fitness, the gym was what got me there, what got me healthy, where I lost the most of my weight when I started on my journey. It wasn't until last year, about this time last year, where I really started taking a big interest in some endurance events and becoming a runner and running half marathons, and again, fingers crossed, eventually ultras. So I do have a love for lifting weights. I do like being not just fast and having lots of endurance, but being strong as well. And I think that was a major reason why I didn't really have any big injuries when I ramped up mileage as quickly as I did in training for my first marathon. I went from not running at all to running a marathon. No races in between there. And part of that success, I think, has to do with strength training. So I'm doing the Hybrid Athlete 3.0 program by Nick Bear. If you don't know who Nick Bear is, I'll talk about him a whole lot more in other videos as I share with you sort of updates as we go through the program. And the reason why I picked this program was he has a very good mix of quite a bit of running and quite a bit of weightlifting. There's a lot of volume. You spend a lot of time lifting weight, but on a number of those days, there's also quite a bit of a running focus. He doesn't prioritize one over the other. Now, I know ultimately that kind of means that you're not going to be best at one. You're going to be good at one and good at the other, but this is the time of the year to do that. The reason why I say this is the time of the year is because when I look at the calendar and I look at that race that I have circled for next May, and I look back 16 weeks, which is how long I want my marathon prep to be, then I go 12 weeks back, which is how long that program is. That lands us on now. So it works out really, really well for me that I get to focus on doing a little bit more strength before we get into that marathon block. Check out some of Nick's programs. I'll definitely leave a link to his programs in the description down below. Again, I'll be sharing with you a whole lot about the programs as we go along. I'll also leave a link to his YouTube channel because he's incredibly inspirational for me. He's one of the reasons why I decided that I was able to do a bit of both endurance and strength training at the same time. So that's all I have for today. Again, I know a lot of people on here might not be super interested in me talking about my family so much. They tend not to get as many clicks as something like a shoe review, but ultimately it's pretty important to me to share with you this stuff. My name is Matt, and this is What Matters to Matt, and ultimately what matters to me most is my family. I'll see you in the next one.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.